Hey guys, good morning. We are bouncing today. So, moving to the upside, that makes a lot of people happy. I don't necessarily care which direction this thing goes, as long as it's going in a direction. Up until today, most of the opportunities have been in scalping the market. Today is pretty much a similar kind of a situation. Depends on what it is that you're looking for. There's lots and lots of inflections right at those floor trader pivot lines. Those are making for some really good opportunities intraday. I think that if you focus on sort of the sideways action and the travel range within that sideways band of trading, then today's going to be a pretty good day. Lots of geometric trading and things that you can just focus on. Got to be patient, wait for it to come to you, and once it does, you can make some nice little moves on the triple Qs. Let's take a look at the charts. So here you see it. This is the triple Q this morning. We had a sharp move lower yesterday into the close, and then that's followed by this move higher this morning, and you can see here retraced right to the pivot. And at the central pivot line, of course, floor trader pivot, that's high plus low plus close of yesterday, divided by 3. And that gives you the floor trader pivot. That's sort of the fulcrum for the trading session. That's where we expect sort of the value line to be for the day. And right below that, we've got all these volume stacks going into yesterday's close. So where we see these histograms, these cluster analyses that are sort of popping on top of each other like that, that tells us that that's going to be a place that we see an inflection. The more there are in any one place, the harder that inflection is going to be, right? So it's going to be much harder to get down through this than it would be to get down through this. But generally speaking, once we get back down to that central pivot, we see here that we have a nice, geometric kind of a trading range where it came higher, right? Came back down, got into the pivot line. That gave you the opportunity to trade back up into the previous resistance, that level that's still there from yesterday, as a matter of fact. 360.14 really represents good support and resistance today. And when it came down from there, that makes for a decent profit target. So forget that it did this. I mean, we're not looking for that. If you got it, great for you. But more likely than not, you got out when we hit this line. And then once we made this next swing move higher, then this move lower was, a great place to scalp based on this anchored VWAP. So the anchored VWAP was there. The anchored VWAP is telling you, hey, there's going to be some price action that inflects here. Also happened to be the center of the price action, happened to be the volume weighted average price there. And then when we moved higher, we did get the opportunity here for a move back down to the pivot. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for right now, is to see, do we get down here for another test of the pivot? Second test of this pivot line, of this blue pivot, that's the first resistance, is not going to have a target for me all the way up at 361.56. Rather, I would say, target on this is going to be a little bit shallower, probably down into here about 361.20 or so. Something closer to this area right here, which overlaps, of course, with our volume by price, right? The volume by price threshold right there. You can sort of see it better here. Is lining up. It's not going to be too close to this VWAP. This VWAP is what we're looking for as an inflection. So the VWAP is not acting as a target, rather it's acting as a place that we're expecting price to come back to and then take a move higher once again. All that stuff lines up. You can keep an eye on your stochastics and RSIs and all that kind of stuff too. I think that the best thing to focus on is the price action and the statistics that are derived directly from the price action. This stuff here and this stuff here, that's a look back that goes back and analyzes what's happened in the past bars and tells you sort of where you are in relation to that. I think you can just look at a chart and, it's pretty easy to see where the current price is in relation to the past 14 in the case of the RSI bars, and also 14 periods on the stochastic. So all that stuff is lined up, though. Gives you a pretty clear indication of where we're looking to go. Trying to trade in this box, right? So this box right here is the place that we're trying to focus on. That's because you can see that the our bands, right, our 2 standard deviation excursions here, these Bollinger Bands, these are lined up nice and parallel. That's where we like to see them when we're trying to trade sort of the back and forth on this thing. I wouldn't look at the short side right now, just because the trend has definitely been to the upside, right? Big positive trend on the day. But if we start seeing a move lower, if this baby starts selling off going into the closing bell, then start looking for, moves that get you lower, get you up a little, down again, up a little, down again, that kind of a thing, into the support and resistance lines that we've been looking at over the course of the session. So those should hold up. The pivot line should hold up. All this stuff should stay in place over the rest of the day. If it does, I think you're good to go, and you should have a pretty clear path based on what we just talked about in knowing what it is that you expect this thing to do over the rest of the day. All right, so there you have it. That's it for me. I am off to Arizona for a bit. Going to see a friend, one of your fellow boot camp alumni. Let the cat out of the bag. It's Paul Serpina's birthday. You guys go ahead and send him some birthday wishes. I know he'll appreciate it. And I will see everybody bright and early Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Take care.